All right, what is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, we have some updates on the L'Jarius Sneed situation. Obviously, this has been a situation that has it's been an ongoing situation for a while now, and I know a lot of Colts fans were anticipating, we're hoping that Indianapolis can agree to a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs for L'Jarius Sneed, but there are some things right now that are kind of prolonging this process a little bit here. And so there were some updates that came out last night and a few this morning as well regarding this situation and for the Indianapolis Colts and all that stuff. So I'll start here. This was from Cam Marino NFL. He broke kind of the news a couple days ago about Indianapolis kind of being considered the team to beat, right, for L'Jarius Sneed, if he did become available. I don't think that has changed necessarily. This is what he had said yesterday regarding the L'Jarius Sneed situation. He said, strong winds in the direction of Sneed returning to Kansas City to play on his tag. So there's a couple teams. He included the Colts in there who were aggressive in pursuit of Sneed, but either went in other directions or are hesitant to give up draft picks. Expensive player coming for a team who wants an expensive return. Tough situation. We'll see what happens. And obviously, for a lot of people, that was like, oh, it's over. There's no way L'Jarius Sneed comes to Indianapolis. That dream is dead, right? Well, I was kind of in that boat where I'm like, oh boy, it looks like L'Jarius Sneed may not come to Indianapolis. But this morning, Stephen Holder had posted around an hour or so ago from the time I recorded this regarding L'Jarius Sneed. He said, regarding cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, who was franchised and given permission to seek a trade, my understanding is that the holdup is less about Kansas City's willingness to trade him and more about the challenge of agreeing to a new contract. So he added, would be effectively a sign and trade situation. So there are two boxes to check. Obviously, the first, trade compensation, and then a new deal. And he also clarified as well. So he said the Chiefs are being fairly reasonable when it comes to the draft compensation. Really, the biggest holdup, not just for Indianapolis, but for all the other teams, is whether or not you can come to terms with Sneed on a new contract. And so that's some of the updates we've had as of recent. And so my immediate thoughts are, okay, so it appears in theory that if Indianapolis is indeed, the team to beat for L'Jarius Sneed, it's really just going to come down to, can they agree with Sneed on what a new contract extension would look like, right, when it came to the money-wise and all that stuff? And we know the Colts have been doing a lot of that with their own guys, and so obviously you hope that Indianapolis can clear that hurdle. How much is L'Jarius Sneed realistically asking? How close or far apart are these teams when it comes to, some of the financial stuff for the Indianapolis Colts? Obviously the Colts have a little over $20 million right now left especially after, some of the outside free agent moves they added as well into that. And so I personally think right now Indy's just trying to figure out, can we come to a common ground with L'Jarius Sneed when it comes to an extension? We're okay with the draft compensation. Can we come to this agreement? Can we find kind of a middle ground here with Sneed to make him obviously one of the highest paid corners in the NFL, but also in allowing ourselves to have a little bit of flexibility, and maybe this, after this whole thing, Indianapolis, or maybe in order to make this thing happen, Indianapolis has to look at, getting some more cap space, whether that's cutting a player like Mo Alley Cox, whether that's restructuring like DeForest Buckner or Quentin Nelson or, whoever else in that, potential thing there. And so that seems to be the biggest hurdle here for L'Jarius Sneed in this whole situation, right? And so hopefully this is a situation that, the Indianapolis Colts can come through and they can find an agreement with Sneed on a contract extension that both parties are fairly happy with. They can kind of find that middle ground. They can compromise a little bit and meet halfway or something like that. I think that would be great if they're able to do that. And so that's just going to be an interesting thing to kind of see, how does this work? How does this go? Because obviously we've seen Indianapolis's interest has never waned, right? Indianapolis has been very, very interested in L'Jarius Sneed, maybe more interested than any other team in the NFL. And so can they find that common ground when it comes to the contract and stuff like that? If they can do that, I'm really hopeful that they can have a deal and figure this out. and get L'Jarius Sneed. But if they can, it seems like Sneed might have to play on the tag with Kansas City. So I guess we'll see on that. But I mean, we all know, like, we believe that it's worth it for the Colts to kind of take a swing here at corner. But again, how much is L'Jarius Sneed actually asking, right? And how much is it, just actually ridiculous how much he's asking versus how much can they kind of come to that common understanding when it comes to an extension after the trade would work out. So we'll see on that, guys. But just wanted to provide you a quick update here on the L'Jarius Sneed, Indianapolis, all that saga. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of wondering and hoping. I'd rather just know yes or no, are the Colts going to make this trade? But again, the worst thing is it takes patience. It's going to take time. And I hate that. I want the Colts to make a move now, but they may not make a move for a while. And I guess we'll have to see on that. But it's going to come down to really that final piece, it appears, for the Indianapolis Colts when it comes to L'Jarius Sneed. So, guys, let me know your overall thoughts here on the L'Jarius Sneed situation for Indianapolis. What's a reasonable deal for Indianapolis that you'd like to see if they are able to pull off, the trade for Sneed? How much and for how long would you like to see them extend a player like L'Jarius Sneed? Let us know all those things down in the comments. But, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been incredible, really. You guys have been so supportive. We've seen a lot of people on the channel, so thank you to everybody who is tuning in right now and who has been tuning in for our content for some of our live streams. We've got a lot of new people in those live streams, and so thank you to everybody who has checked us out. But, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.